Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, and today what I'm going to talk about is recent farm bills or the farm acts. Like they have been given assent by the president, they have been passed recently. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. So there are three bills. I'll be dividing this in two parts so that it remains crisp and interesting as well. So in the first video, I'll be talking about some basics and the first bill. In the next video, I'll talk about the remaining two bills and the complaints that are being raised by the farmers and the protests that are happening. So what I'd like to introduce here in about the two basic concepts of this entire issue. The first one is APMC and second is MSP. So APMC stands for Agriculture Produce Market Committee. So what APMCs are, I'd like to reiterate here in some, if there's someone watching from rural areas, they might be knowing it very well. So APMCs are markets wherein a farmer goes, there's a middleman in there. Farmer sells his produce to middleman and then the middleman sells it to retailers. That's how generally the system works. Farmers are also allowed to sell them to private players. That's how generally the system works. And second is MSP, which I mentioned about. MSP is minimum support price, which is provided by the government, which is generally 1.5% of whatever you put in. Like if the farmer puts in around 1,000 rupees, and he will assuredly get 1,500 rupees. So that's what MSP as of now, by the rate of now, it's 1.5%. So that's how it is. So that are the two basic things about it. And now I'll move down to the first bill, which is the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation. This is what's a long and very boring name of the bill is. So what is the complication with this bill? So what I'll mention about herein, what already the system was, farmers used to go, they used to sell their products to the middleman in the APMC, and then the middleman used to sell it to retailers. That's how already the system was. Now what government has introduced in is interstate transport or intrastate transport as well, which was already open for farmers, but it was not open for the middlemen working in the APMCs. That has been open now. That is one new addition with this bill. And the second is addition of private markets, wherein the issue has mainly been revolving around. So what farmers are asking about is, if government is inducing private players in this, so why there is no MSP attached to private players as well? What the farmers doubt is if there's induction of private players in this. So let's consider about an example. If we take in, for that matter, Amazon. So what I remember about Amazon, before 8 years, there used to be free deliveries, of no conditions and no buying applied. But as of now, if we see, you have to at least buy for 500 rupees, or you have to have a prime subscription for free home delivery. So that's how private companies work. They have an agenda, they have to own their profit. That's how they work, and that's what farmer fears. Like, if consider for that matter, if this happens and if the private players step in the market, so what will happen? At beginning, there would be schemes provided to farmers, and later, as the things produce, things move forward, the private players would try to exploit farmers. And if you consider the farmers in India, they are not so much educated to understand the norms and how private players would work. So that's what is the doubt raised by politicians, and the politicians pass it down to farmers, and then there's protests and all going around. And what farmers also fear about is, if the major chunk of agriculture producers move to private players, then APMC might be shut down. And if that happens, then the government will be having literally no responsibility. So if APMCs are shut down, you'll be having no minimum support price, that is MSP. So then farmers will be left nowhere to go. And if you consider about our country, a major chunk of farmers is having small sets of land. They don't have much of land, so that they would consider tie-ups with private players, and then they would be totally dependent on that. So that is again an issue. And if APMC is shut down, then APMC provides, like, if you see, employment to a lot of people. There's middlemen coming in, then there's workers, laborers coming therein. So if the importance of APMC is reduced, then that would be leading to unemployment of those people. And what is again an issue in the northern states is APMC tax. Like, when the farmers used to go to APMC to sell their products, and there was an APMC tax which was being charged on them. So this is being removed. So if this is removed, the state's major part, if its revenue is around hundreds of crores, so that much of revenue the states will be missing on that much of revenue. So that is again an issue for the two major states to rise on this issue, that's Punjab and Haryana. It's APMCs are not that much of bit familiar in southern states, so you can see the protest happening, but it's not on that massive level as like it's in Punjab and Haryana and other northern states. So that is one thing. And if shutting down of APMC happens, the laborers and other working there will be unemployed, so they are joining in the protests. So that's it about APMC. In next video, I'll be talking about the other two bills and other complaints that are being raised by farmers. Thank you.